All right, and if anyone joins us, if you did not sign up through Eventbrite, please add your email into the chat box so that way we can be sure and send you a copy of this video recording as well as a copy of the workbook. So that way you have all this information from the workshop today. And I will go ahead and share the screen and then we're going to get started. Just want to make sure you can see everything okay. Let me get into the slide.
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Our workshop this morning is talking about seniors, how you as a senior can make plans on staying at home and making sure that your home is safe. And if you are helping your loved ones and your family members, how do we assist them and help them make some of these decisions? Age in Place is one of the workshops in our senior series. So we will share with you when the other ones are coming up as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Olga St. Pierre. I am a senior living specialist with Keller Williams Real Estate. And just a little bit about our team. We primarily focus on serving clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. However, we do a lot of our work as well with clients around the United States and Canada, because as you can imagine, a lot of this information that we share is uniform and some of it is state specific. However, my goal today is just break it down and make it as reasonable and as easy to understand as possible. We also have a great concierge service that we provide for our local clients. Think of us as yellow pages from start to finish if you are looking for contractors to do the modifications that we're going to talk about today. If you need any recommendations for other professionals, anyone that you can think of that you may need help with, we're here to help you. And if you are joining us from out of the area, we also have connections and resources to share with you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Afterwards, at the end, I always leave a few minutes for a question and answer session. We also try to go over the questions that were posted from the Eventbrite link. There's always lots of questions that are there. I just want to make sure that we cover them as well. You, of course, are welcome to kind of jump in if there's any questions that you have as we go along. Maybe you want to add your own experience. I always welcome as much comments and suggestions as possible. So thank you for that. So the plan for today is to kind of give you some food for thought to help you start thinking and making plans. Why consider staying in your home? Why staying in your home for some people is not the right move. Some questions to ask yourself, making plans, talking about financial consideration, and what I suggest are some of the next steps for you to think about. So that's what we're going to talk about today, probably for about 40 minutes or so. And then I'm happy to always stick around and answer any of your questions and have feedback. So number one, I can tell you that most of the time when our team is working with seniors and their families, what I hear is that, you know what, we feel like home is comfortable and we just want to stay in our home throughout our golden years. And I completely understand that, right? The formal percentage of adults ages 50 and older is about 77% based on the AARP survey that was done. And what I can tell you is based on my experience of being in the industry for the last 14 years is that a lot of the times people don't realize how much work and how much planning needs to be done. People also don't realize when they get into their golden years, things could literally change overnight. And a lot of the times it's too late to make plans and kind of start getting prepared at that time where we are kind of rushing and reacting to the whole situation. So my suggestion to you, if this is something that you are here because you're curious, you've been thinking about it, there's never a good time better than today to start making these plans. And that's why I want to share this information with you and also give you a list of some questions to kind of get you thinking about your own situation, because everyone's situation is personal and unique, right? So let's talk about the first thing. some of the truths and things for you to think about staying in your own home. This is what I hear 99% of the time. My home is going to be the best possible place for me to kind of live out and enjoy my retirement years. And one thing that I am asking you to think about, based on what I have learned over the years and the experience that I have had with my clients, is that our ideal home evolves throughout our lifetime. When we moved into our home, that is a two-story colonial, we wanted to make sure that we had 4 bedrooms because maybe you have 2 or 3 kids or more. You wanted to have a big yard for them to play around, maybe have a pool, be able to have a garden. And now, 20, 30, 40 years later, your kids are out of the house, and the house itself was overwhelming because it's too big, and maybe you're having a hard time keeping up with the backyard. So think about what the house is doing for you right now. Is it truly helping you, or could it be a hindrance? Okay. My current home is the best option to continue to have the social life that I want to have and to be able to stay connected with my friends in the years ahead. And it's a great starter for conversation and thought-provoking conversations with your loved ones as well as your friends, because what you may think is happening now may not be the right move for your friends. So I encourage you to sit down and have conversations with your friends and to ask them, what are you planning on doing? Do you plan on staying in your home, or do you have financial or perhaps health considerations that are going to help you make a decision, maybe move into a 55+ community, maybe into a continuing care community, because you have some considerations that need to be looked at right now, because the reality is that you may need some help. So it's not just about you, but it's also about your circle of your friends and your family on what they are planning on doing and how their move may affect you as well in your own plans. It's less expensive and more financially secure for me to stay in my current home. And I hear that quite often because people say, well, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have the big expense. So my home is going to be the best place for me. And this is where I invite you to sit down and take a look at your expenses, right? Even though your mortgage may be paid off, you still have certain monthly expenses that you need to have for yourself as well as for your home. And as you can imagine, with time, your home matures and grows older as much as you do. And what that means is, could it be that your roof is getting older where you may need to replace it? What about your siding, your windows, your heating and air conditioning? Think about the most expensive items in your home that you still need to maintain to make sure that your home is the safe haven that you want it to be. And as you know, the prices on labor and materials have increased over the last few years. And this means that a new roof could cost you $15,000, $20,000. A new HVAC system can cost you $10,000. And it's something that if something happens and you start to have a leaky roof, you need to take care of these things quickly to make sure that there's no more damage that is done to your home. So what I invite you to do is sit down and look through your records to see how old all of these big ticket items are in your home, and to see when was the last time that they were replaced or maintained, and is this something that is going to be big ticket expense coming up for you, and are you prepared, and do you have funds set aside for those things, right? So when you look at those things as a bigger picture and combined with your own potential care costs, right, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, living in your own home actually end up being a more expensive option is to compare to something else. The next one is, it will be easy for me to get my care that I need at home. If I need to have a doctor that can visit me, if I need to have nurses that come and visit me. And what I have learned in working with other clients over the years, it is very much not simple at all. It actually takes a lot more planning on doing this, where you'll have different doctors and nurses that come depending on the level of care that you need, versus you going and visiting them and having a team. So having a team and having communication among the team members is crucial, and a lot of times it's not easy to pull off. which basically means that it's stressful on you and your loved ones and your family who are trying to coordinate the care and making sure that you are as safe as possible in your own home. So when we talk about your own home, the number one thing that I always stress to family members and to the seniors is the number one question you need to ask yourself: is your home safe? Because the two-story colonial with lots of steps is not safe for someone who may be having tripping hazards, who may have a bad knee or bad hip. And if you are insisting that you're going to stay in your home, we need to figure out how we keep our home safe for where we are now and where we're going to be in terms of our health consideration. And does that mean that we need to make some home modifications? We're talking about doing renovations to your home to make sure that it is as safe as possible. Okay, we have created a home safety assessment, which is critical for you to use to determine what modifications are needed. It is a 4-page document that goes through step by step, starting from outside to inside, and goes floor to floor, and it's asking you critical questions, and you can use that as a guide to help you determine if you are definitely set in staying in your home, what is it going to take and what modifications may be needed, okay? And here are some of the examples. What we're talking about is tripping hazards. We're going to be talking about lighting, make sure that your home is safe. We're talking about wide hallways. Do we have grips and handles to help you with doors as well as in the bathrooms? And the security, making sure they're secure, that your doors are secure, make sure you have cameras so that way you don't have to come to the front door if you don't need to. And making sure also that your family who may not be close to you wants to keep an eye on you, making sure that you're safe so that way they feel that they are helping you as well, okay? So we're talking about exterior and interior cameras, maybe Alexa and Google Home, and actually having a security system. So when you have this home safety assessment, it's going to actually guide you through room by room, and it's going to ask you these critical questions that you need to answer. We are happy to print this for you and send it to you. We can email it to you as PDF, and we also help you conduct this safe assessment with you if you would like our help, and we do it absolutely free of charge. So please let us know if this is something that you would like to get in the mail or email. So when we're talking about modifications, we're not just talking about doing some construction work. We also start and we're talking about things, personal things that we have accumulated in our home since we've been there for 20, 30, 40 years, or maybe even longer. If we have too much furniture, if we have too much stuff, it is time to also consider decluttering. You are welcome to join us in our declutter class, because I know how stressful, how emotional it is to go through the things that you have accumulated over the years that you lived in this home, because you built memories, you raised family, and that's very much understandable. And part of making sure that your home is safe for you is going through potentially too much furniture, too much stuff that we have accumulated that we no longer need because our kids are out of the house and they have a household of their own. So some of the things that we suggest you do is creating a safe room by room flow where you can easily navigate and walk around the home and not, God forbid, trip over something. We create a room floor plan. This way you understand exactly what you need in each home. That helps you and makes you feel that safe and comfortable. And then part of that declutter process is, of course, looking to see the things that we do need to get rid of, how we're going to do that. We're going to keep some of them, maybe family is going to take some of them, and then we're going to sell, donate, and throw away. So, and of course, we have the documents for each of these items, so that way you can do this yourself, maybe get family involved, or of course, if you need recommendations for someone to help you do this, we also have that as part of our concierge service. Now think of someone who is like a professional organizer who can help you make suggestions if something is an antique, maybe that can be sold and make you some money. Someone who is going to keep you focused and make you feel comfortable and help you in this process, okay? So when you're decluttering, what you're actually doing, it's not a negative word, and I don't want you to think about decluttering as a negative thing. What you're doing is you're right-sizing your things for where you are in your life journey, where you are today, And just because you're getting rid of things does not mean you're throwing them away. What you're doing is you're helping yourself be set up for where you are in your life journey today, right? So we are using our room inventory list to take action. We're getting help, family, or someone who is a professional. And what we're doing is doing mini goals and mini appointments to get this work done. Okay, this, I think it's the most important thing for everyone to understand, is that when you're trying to get this accomplished, and when what thinks and looks like a big mountain is all it is just a series of small appointments that you take and you get done, and you do 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes at a time. Okay, and if you want some more suggestions, please sign up for our declutter workshop. We have a lot of fun. We talk about very attainable small steps that you can take and things that you can do in each room of your home to achieve the goals that you're trying to accomplish. And next, as you're going through this process, the goal is also to create a home modification improvement list, so that way you can then get contractors out to the home and get recommendations and figure out how much these modifications are going to cost you, because it's going to be a financial commitment. It's going to be a financial investment in improving your home to make sure that you feel safe in it. So my suggestion is to always get at least 2 to 3 contractor estimates. Don't just end up with one. What you want to do is get an idea and see if the prices that you get are roughly the same along the border. That means that what you're trying to accomplish is, and what the prices are, is roughly what you can count on. Okay. Next, determining the time frame of the work. What I always suggest to you is allocate and plan more time that you need, because it's going to take you time to reach out a few responsible and reliable contractors. It's going to take time for them to come out. It's going to take time for them to get you the estimate. And then it's going to take you time to make a decision who you want to work with, then where are you going to get the funds, and then for that contractor to actually start work. So think of this process as can take quite a few months. And also, if you're doing this in the busy season, like spring and summer, it may take you even longer time, because good contractors are going to be very busy. So a few suggestions on modifications to kind of set you up for success. These are the things that we always look forward to as some of the most important things to help you, right? If you are looking because the stairs are just overwhelming to you, is there an option for you to set up a bedroom on the first floor, right? If you're in a 2-story home. I know that when my grandmother moved in with us, in my own personal circumstances, she moved in with my parents. They took a living room and actually created a bedroom out of it. So they closed off one wall and then they put a door on the other one. And that was my grandmother's bedroom on the first floor. And that room was the closest to the full bathroom for her to travel to. So think about that as an option. If that is not an option, don't think that, selling your home and moving into something else that is still going to be your own is a bad idea. You can always downsize and go into a 1-story home like a rancher, or perhaps going to a 1 or 2 bedroom condo that's living on 1 floor that also has easy maintenance, because everything else is going to be done by the association for you. Steps in showers, benches, and grab bars are extremely important in bathrooms. Make sure that you don't slip and fall. Make sure that you feel comfortable when you're in the shower. And also here, if you do not have a shower stall and you have a bathtub, that is something to consider as part of your renovation. Installing ramps. If you have challenges using steps, is installing a ramp something that is going to help you. Okay, smooth exterior walkways. Again, tripping hazards are one of the major causes of falls in seniors. Replacing kitchen cabinets with drawers and pull-out shelves. That's important, so that way it's easy for you to grab and slide and open things, so that way you can reach for what you're looking for. And laundry room on the first floor for you to do easy access. Think about the fact that in the beginning maybe you did not mind that your laundry was in the basement, but now you have stairs to navigate, and that's a potential tripping and falling hazard as well. A few other things to consider when you are trying to make plans to make sure that your home is as safe as possible is flooring. Something that is not going to be wrinkly, something that is not going to, again, trip you, which means hardwood floors, tile, laminate and vinyl floors are all smooth, and they may also allow for easier wheelchair and walker maneuvering if this is something that is going to be a concern to you. If the carpet is older and shaggy and you still want to have carpet maybe in the bedrooms for the warmth, consider replacing it with a new carpeting that has a shorter nap to prevent tripping. You know, nap is make sure that it has shorter hair and maybe it's denser, so that way you still feel comfortable, okay, if you definitely want to keep the carpet. Easier when the microwaves are placed in the microwave stands as opposed to being at the back of the counter or maybe on the raised level, so that way it's easier for you to reach. Leveler style doorknobs are helpful for people who may have arthritis or other hand conditions, that have limited mobility. So when I asked you earlier is to sit down and figure things out, part of that is also sitting down and figuring out your budget. Okay, so what I encourage you to do, and we can send you this expense spreadsheet, or you can create one of your own, is look through, go back at least 6 months, if not more, and review your current income and your expenses as well. Okay, if you still have a mortgage, what does that look like? What is your percentage? The goal is to aim for at least 35% or lower. Okay, does your mortgage payment leave you enough money for your other needs? Okay, so think about that, and don't think that if you are, you feel trapped in your house or you still want to be living in your home, it doesn't mean, as I mentioned to you before, it doesn't mean that you can't downsize from a 2-story colonial and go into a smaller home, go into a townhouse or a condo or a single family home if that is what you want to do, right? And everybody has different circumstances, everybody has different situation and also different desires and goals. So one of the things that I always suggest to people is let's sit down and talk and figure out what is it that you're looking for? What is your ultimate goal? And then based on that, we can create and design a custom plan, whether you plan on staying in this home, whether it makes sense for you to go into something smaller, but still your own because you don't want to be in the community, right? And you'll be surprised how many amenities and different communities currently that are around us that offer something or everything that you may be looking for. So again, it's about doing the research and figuring out what you are looking for today, what you're going to need a few years down the road, based on your own personal health and personal assessment of yourself. Financial consideration. If you are going to be renovating your home, it could cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or more, depending on what needs to be done. Okay, so how are we going to pay for it? What does that mean to you, and how do your finances look in order for you to do this? So you need to discuss this with your financial advisor. You definitely want to talk to your estate planning attorney, and you want to talk about your accountant as well, right? They should be part of your team. What makes sense to you, okay? Don't forget, reverse mortgage is something that is available for seniors aged 62 and older. I have a couple of lenders that I work with who specialize strictly in reverse mortgage. And I know that I've been talking to some people, they have said that reverse mortgage has kind of like a bad reputation based on what they have heard and how some people unfortunately were scammed into doing something. And I completely understand. That's why it's so important that if this is something that you may want to consider, to speak with someone who is a professional who comes highly recommended. So I'm happy to make suggestions for you, okay? You can use the equity in your home as part of your reverse mortgage process for in-home care, for the home modifications and improvements that we're talking about, to purchase your long-term care insurance. So if you don't have the mortgage, you can tap into that equity for quite a few things. So if this is something that is of interest to you and you would like to speak to a reverse mortgage professional, please let us know, because we have recommendations for you to ease your mind to know that you're dealing with someone who is highly recommended. It's time to brush up on Medicare and Medicaid as your insurance options. It's critical to understand and know what Medicare pays for and what Medicaid pays for and who it's available to, okay? Medicaid is only for lower income individuals, for low personal savings, and for you to get approved by Medicaid is a lengthy process. However, yes, it can be done. So again, I stress to you that this planning and figuring this out, as you can see, there's a lot of things to consider. The sooner you sit down and start jotting some thoughts and ideas down, the better off you're going to be. Health insurance and long-term care insurance, understand what will be covered and for how long. Long-term care insurance only covers you for a period of a few years. So make sure that you understand how your policy works and understand what your long-term care insurance is going to cover versus what is not going to cover based on your Medicare and Medicaid benefits as well. And also for veterans, for spouses, remember there are great benefits available for qualifying veterans and their spouses. There's monetary assistance or supportive services as well for you to consider. So don't forget to take advantage of those. And again, just I can't stress this enough for you. This planning takes time. So there's no better day than today to get started on that. So your health and your wellness, also extremely important. Don't forget that it all starts with sitting down and being very honest with yourself and having an honest conversation with yourself. Yes, you're going to be talking to yourself and you're going to, this, no one knows you better than you. So someone like me who is a professional can help you and give you a list of questions to ask. Yet the reality is that when you ask those questions, you are the best person, the best equipped person to answer those questions for yourself, to help yourself get prepared and create a plan. So here are some things for you to consider. What is your overall health? What are your concerns? Concerns now and things that may be coming up that you know are going to show up for you in the near future. Some illnesses, pain, mobility, cost of care. How are you performing your daily activities, right? We're talking about personal care, getting dressed, going down the stairs, taking care of the lawn. How do you feel about all those things? Okay, means to travel. Do you feel safe being in the car, or do you think that at some point in the near future, you're going to need a companion to take you places? Okay, who is your medical team for your healthcare plan? We're not talking about your accountant and your attorney and your financial planner. We're talking about your team of different doctors that you see who continuously communicate with each other and they understand very well what your healthcare plan is. Your nurses, your personal care, your nursing care. Community and social interaction. I think that it's even more important in your golden years for you to stay active and to have the social interaction with others. What does that look like for you now? And what do you feel you're going to need in the future? Okay. Adult daycares are available in many areas. You need, of course, transport to get there. But the idea there is you can grab something to eat. You can maybe play some board games. You can have interesting conversations. Some of them have like a gym facility and some other physical activities and other social calendar in place for you to do something. I remember my grandmothers usually went twice a week to adult daycares and they really enjoyed it as well. Are you comfortable with technology? And what we're talking about is smartphones and tablets and being on Zoom. And if you're not, my suggestion to you is get comfortable, because technology is only going to get smarter and you can only going to get more involved and more technologically advanced. And it is in your best interest to go along, because ultimately having better technology is going to help you in your planning as well. My next question to you is, think about your hobbies. Think about what is it that you have passions for. It doesn't mean that now you're retired, you don't have to do anything and you can just sit on the couch. The goal is for you to be excited about something, to draw on your hobbies and the interests that you have. And you know what, if you haven't found the group that you're looking for, maybe based on your hobby, guess what? Why don't you start one? I have a client who retired to a small 55 plus community. And she said to me, she's like, you know what, Olga, I started a book club and I started a walking group. So they walk twice a week. There are a bunch of ladies and then they chat and they talk about what's going on and they discuss current events and so forth. And then they also read. They pick a book topic of once a month, and then they all then get together for some snacks and tea and coffee and discuss it. Right? And that is what was her passion. This is what she wanted to do. And she couldn't find it anywhere. in her immediate area. So she's like, you know what, I'm just going to start. So I encourage you to think about that as well. You need to have some positive energy, positive hobbies, and something maybe new to learn. It doesn't mean that you cannot learn a new language, right? If that is something that you always wanted to do. So I encourage you to sit down and think about those things as well, because they're just as important as taking care of yourself physically. These are things that you need to take care of yourself emotionally. Next, a big part of this planning process is having an honest conversation with your loved ones, whether it's your sisters and brothers, whether it's your children and grandchildren. Ultimately, the goal is for everyone to understand what is it that you're looking for and how can they help you, okay? This honest conversation is better to be had in person if you can, because this way you can see their interaction. They can, you know, give you a hug, and it's better face to face. And these are some of the things that I encourage you to discuss. And as you can imagine, this is a part of your planning. And in this whole journey, you have to do quite a bit of preparation in order for you to have this conversation with your loved ones, because there's information that you need to pass on to them, okay? If you need help, it is okay to ask for help. I don't want you to feel embarrassed, because we as loved ones want to help our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles. We want to help, and it always is better for us to understand what does that look like and what kind of help we're looking for. So, you know, if I am the loved one and my parents, my grandparents want to have this conversation with me, I would welcome it with open arms, and I'll say, okay, great, tell me what you need, so that way I know how I can help you. Okay, so here's a great list for you to create and discuss with your family and your loved ones. So what does this mean and what's next? I just gave you a lot of food for thought, right? And as you can see, there's a lot of planning and a lot of thinking involved. And for a lot of you, you know that I'm a big believer in having notebooks, not just using your phone, but actually grabbing a physical pen and a physical notebook and starting to write down on what is it that you're trying to accomplish. What is that big plan that you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you need to start? What are some of the most important things you need to do now, and things maybe that can wait a little bit, right? And your brain is going to recognize that you're making progress, that you're making plans, and I can guarantee you that it's going to make you feel better when you are putting a pen to paper and you're jotting some of these things down, because then your brain can start thinking about something else, or you can start analyzing the items that you wrote down, okay? Have a meeting with your loved ones as soon as you can after you have done the work that needs to get done for you to have that appointment, okay? Schedule your free home safety assessment appointment with us, or you're welcome just to let us know and we can send you this information along with the documents that I already mentioned to you in this workshop. Evaluating your monthly expenses, digital asset inventory list, room inventory, and planning your space, which is the floor plan. And of course, if you think that other workshops in our senior series will be helpful to you to create your own journey, please don't hesitate to join us. We have a workshop pretty much running every week of the month, and you can find the list of the schedule, which we will send out to you as well at Live with Olga location. And all of our workshops are recorded, and you can find them on our YouTube channel from the comfort and the time you want to get to them is at Penn Jersey Living with Olga. So that's what I want to share with you today. And as always, I always tell everyone, if you want to talk to me in private to kind of pick my brain on what you think may be best for you, you always can reach me by email, by phone call. And if you are on social media and you want to connect with me and let me know how I can help you, most of the time I hang out on Facebook. So that's what I have to share with you today. Let's take a look and see what questions that we have, so to make sure that if there's anything else that I did not answer. Okay, is there a list of warning signs that would help someone to determine that they should be receiving special care? I want to be proactive about new technologies to age at home. So, question about warning signs. I think that some of the things based on my experience is, and I have a few clients right now that we are working on helping them make a decision and realize that they need help is when someone starts to be forgetful, and you can see that they really slow down mentally and physically, and especially with physical ailments. A lot of times you can tell that someone may need to be on one floor level because of physical limitations. And that's actually preventing them from having a full and joyful life. Proactive about new technologies to age at home. Absolutely, we talked about security systems. We talk about Ring. We talk about having Alexa to help you make lists. And actually, you know what? I talked to a senior yesterday, one of my clients, and her kids got her an Apple Watch. And Apple Watch is helpful to, first of all, know like where the senior is. And also it can kind of detect if someone is not feeling good, if someone is going to fall down. They have found this to be helpful. So they got the watch for their grandma. No worries, Karen. Okay, let's see what else we have. So yeah, so we posted the upcoming workshop, so you are welcome to join us, of course. And anyone have any other questions in the meantime that we can answer for you? If there's anything else. You're welcome to either unmute yourselves or you are welcome to put it in the chat. All right, perfect. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found this information helpful. Please tune in, check out our schedule for the upcoming workshops next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.